is Katie, the Novel Stitcher. It is Saturday, March 11th, and this is Flosstube number 14. This is a channel where I talk all about the wonderful hobby of cross stitch, show off what I'm stitching, my finishes, my starts, my whips, my haul, all of that good stuff, and chat with you all about cross stitch. I also talk a little bit about books. That always comes toward the end of the video. So if you're interested in what I'm reading or want to share what you're reading, stay tuned to the end. If you're new here, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to have you. I know there are a lot of Flosstubers and only so many hours in the day, so the fact that you're here spending time with me means so much. Please leave a comment if you're new, tell me how you found out about my channel, and tell me where you're from and what you're stitching. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and watching another video. I really appreciate you, and I love chatting with you in the comments, so please hop into the comments and let me know how you're doing, what you're stitching, how life's going, if you're having a good March. I really like interacting with everyone in the comments, and that's the reason that I do this, is to meet more stitchers and interact with you all and just have a good time. So if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'm inching closer to 1,000. It's not about the numbers, but that would be kind of exciting. So please consider subscribing if you like the content that you see here. And if you're not following me on Instagram and you use Instagram, please follow me there. I am novel_stitcher, and you can see more of my cross-stitching progress, and we can interact there as well. So life updates, not too much going on, pretty quiet, which is a good thing. I did start a new role at my company last week, so that was exciting, moving over to helping with marketing on an editorial team. So far, so good. I'm liking all of my new coworkers, and I think it'll be an exciting space to be in. A little bit slow last week, still learning the ropes and getting access to some systems and things, but I think it'll be good. Change can be, a little bit hard at first, but it can always be a good thing too. Other than that, just hanging out, lots of stitching. Alex, my boyfriend, is mired in tax season, so send some good thoughts and good vibes his way. I think he'll need it. He's getting a little stressed, but I know he'll be okay. He's done this for many years, and he's just got to get through it. So I know we'll both be happy once tax season is over. Looking forward to late April and early May and beyond, when the weather is nicer and we can spend more time together and he is a lot less stressed. So we'll definitely be planning some things post-tax season, but it does mean I have a lot of time to stitch. So let's just dive in and I can show you what I've been working on. I have a fully finished object. I have a start. I have quite a few whips. I have the Stitchy treat winners. I will announce those. Haul, a little bit of haul, some Stitchy kindness, and I do have a little bit of bookish talk, which will be at the very end. So let's start with my fully finished object. This was, I guess, a finish and a fully finish. I know in my last video I had shown you Love You by Hands-On Design, and I had finished that, and I meant to fully finish it, and then I finished something else and I fully finished that instead. So the one I fully finished is Big Hearted Tiny Town from Heart and Hand. And this one was a lot of fun to stitch. It was a Sal by Sweetwater Stitcher and a couple others, and so I jumped in and I had a lot of fun, and here is my fully finished. Yeah, I think it turned out really good. I'm really happy with it. So I stitched on 32 count Affogato by Fiber on a Whim. I stitched it 1/2 by accident, but I think the coverage looks great, so I'm happy with it. And then what I did is I finished it. I bought this little tray and it's magnetized, not well, but I'll talk about that too. So I bought this at Target in the dollar spot, $5. And I decided I could use this for all of the tiny towns. So I can stitch whatever ones I want. Probably would be best to stitch them on Fiber on a Whim on the 32 count, so they all kind of look similar sizes. And then I decided to do magnets with this so that Sorry, this is my first time showing a magnetized piece, and these magnets are like cheapy magnets from Michael's, so I might get stronger magnets so that it's not all falling apart. But anyway, so I put the magnets on it, and then I can just stick it in there. I got this fabric at Joann's. I just used sticky board, so I put the stitching on sticky board, and then I just used this kind of fabric, which I thought matched perfectly. And then I did the same thing with the magnet for a bow. I just got this little gingham ribbon, and then I put a magnet on the bow and a magnet on here so I can switch that out too to match whatever tiny town I am stitching. So I'm really happy with this. This is the first piece I've done where I've done magnets so that I can kind of switch it out for the different designs that I do. And I think the next one I might stitch from them is they did the Honey of a Tiny Town is their market release. It has sunflowers and bees, and the houses are all in different shades of yellow and blue. I think that one's super sweet. So I'm gonna do that one next. And so I'll probably leave, even though this is Valentine's Day, I'll probably leave this one up for a couple months just to enjoy it now that it's fully finished. And then in the summer, maybe work on Honey of a Tiny Town and be able to switch it out and get myself some stronger magnets. I know people like use washers or different better magnets, but I just wanted to at least, you know, try it out. So I think it's really cute. So that is my fully finished object. It's always fun to get a finish and actually be able to display something in my apartment. I think I've mentioned this before, but I just started stitching in the spring of last year, so it's only been about a year. And at first I did quite a few things that I gave to family and friends as I was navigating my early days of stitching. And so I only have a few fall, Halloween, and Christmas fully finished objects. So this is my first like more Valentine's Day, and I'm excited to move into getting some spring stitching done and fully finishing that to have more stuff out in my apartment that I stitched. And so we can move on to my start. So this is my St. Patrick's start. This is Blessings Be More by Erica Michaels. I think it's so pretty, nice classy design to celebrate my Irish heritage. And this says, may your trouble be less and your blessings be more, and nothing but happiness come through your door. So I really like that saying. I like how that looks. And my grandmother was from Ireland. She passed away in 2012, but she was born and spent about the first 12 years of her life in Ireland before coming over to the United States. And I'm also named for her, so I am Catherine with a K, and she is Catherine with a C. And so I think maybe like down here in this corner, I'll have to figure out where it would work. I want to put her initials and then possibly her year of birth, which was 1914. She passed away in 2012, but I'd rather celebrate the year she was born. So I will figure out a good place and add her initials in to kind of personalize this. And so I am using 32 count vintage smoky white Belfast linen, and I'm using the called for Weeks Dye Works, and this is my little start. So I think it's coming along nicely. It's different than some of the other things I'm stitching. It's more like of a pattern than a design that would have an animal or some other character in it. So I think it's a lot of fun. I like using the weeks, and I like the variegation. If you can kind of tell, I'm still learning with the fancy floss how to get the most out of the variegation. I think it's one of those things where you hear a lot of tips and tricks, but you really got to just practice with it a little bit to get the hang of it. But I think this is going to look really nice. I like this fabric. I like the modelness of it. I think that'll work really well for this pattern. I did consider doing, so this is 2/2 on the 32 count. I considered 1/2 because that's what Erica Michaels did, but I liked the thicker look of it, the more coverage from the 2/2. And I did do a test in the corner over here. You can kind of see of 1/2 and 2/2. And I just like the 2/2 better. So I think that's turning out really nicely. And just a few weeks, so not too many. So nice, very Irish golds and greens. So that's a fun one to stitch on and to think back to my time in Ireland because I studied abroad there in college. And then my next WIP is Berry Patch in my lovely Dot Dot Goose Designs project bag, which I adore. One of my lovely viewers sent this to me and I love it. So let me pull it out. And this is part of my Best Bunnies Sal. So thank you everyone who's been joining in and stitching something with a bunny. I just thought it would be something to do for us all to look forward to the spring months and the warmer months and the times when the bunnies come out. And so please feel free to still join in. There's really no end date to the Sal. I'm hoping to finish Berry Patch, which is the one I'm doing, by Easter if I can get it done, and I'm really enjoying stitching on it, so I think I might be able to get it done in a few weeks. Easter is like not that far away, which is crazy to think about. I was just talking to my mom on the phone about it last night because I think her and my dad might come up for Easter, and I was like, well, we have time to figure it out. She's like, it's only like 4 weeks away, and I was like, that's true. I don't know where time goes, but I'm working on Berry Patch for the Best Bunnies Sal. This is a Hello from Liz Mathews pattern. Super cute. And here is my progress, which I got to the bunny. Yay, isn't he cute? Aw, he's gonna be so cute. I really like stitching on this one. So I am doing this one on the 36 count Cream and Sugar by Fiber on a Whim, and I am using the called for DMC except for the flowers. Those were initially in a shade of white that was not gonna really show on this fabric, so I chose to use a purple, which is DMC 3747, if you're interested in doing the same. The butterfly was also in white, so I changed that out to purple. I think it's coming along really, really well. And this little needle minder was sent by one of my viewers, and she sent me a few other things, so I'll show that later, but it's a little Peter Rabbit. It's so cute. I love it. So it's nice to have my little bunny needle minder with my project. And I will say, and I'm not talking about this as a woe is me, but I definitely messed up in a couple areas. And I just want to give an example of a way where sometimes when you mess up, don't automatically go to, oh, I have to frog it. Because initially I was like, I would have to frog like half of all of the berries. But you can always fudge it, and it takes a little bit of thought and a little bit of extra counting, but I think it was up here. I missed a stitch or something. So this was all coming down to be too close to the bunny down here. So I basically just had to like remove a stitch down here so that it wouldn't get like this vine wouldn't run into his face. So I was able to fudge down here, and at this point I don't remember quite what I did to fudge it, but I figured out a way to like push everything out one. But because I messed up here, it messed up down here, and then it messed up over here, and this berry was gonna run into the bunny, and this stuff was all gonna get too close to him too. So what I did is here, there are 3 stitches, there's only supposed to be 2. So I added a stitch to bump this out, and then I added a stitch down here to bump it out because it was 2 stitches too close. And I also just made this berry look kind of funky because it was gonna hit him no matter what I did. So it's more like this one. It's longer and bigger, and I just made it like a fat little berry, which is probably fine because, well, to me it's fine because by a package of strawberries, none of them are gonna look exactly the same. They're all different funky shapes. So that's just my fat little berry to make sure it didn't run in to the bunny. So sometimes you can just think through how to fudge things. I'll have to be careful as I continue down here to make sure I did do it right and that we're not getting too close to Mr. Bunny, but I think it'll work out. And that's luckily one of the times you can fudge, because with vines and strawberries, you know, there's no particular way you need that to look, so it doesn't matter if something is a little off, because, you know, if I showed this to you and didn't even say that I had made a mistake anywhere, you wouldn't have known. So just some advice. Don't automatically feel like, oh no, I've got to rip everything out, because I know sometimes that can get frustrating, and I never want cross stitch to be frustrating. I never want to get annoyed with a project. I want to just figure it out because I want this to be something that I enjoy and that is relaxing. So that is Berry Patch by Hello from Liz Mathews, and can't wait to, I think I'm probably gonna finish up the bunny this weekend because I'm enjoying stitching on him, and then not too much more to go. So we'll see if I can get that one done for Easter. And please continue to share what you're stitching on Instagram, #BestBunniesSal, and we can all take a look at what everyone else is stitching on too. And then Books and Cats is my next WIP. This one is WIPGO. I'm doing WIPGO, and so for March, the numbers that were called were 2 and 22. 22 is bookish, so that's just me stitching on anything related to books. So I want to continue with Books and Cats. 8 hours is the goal for March for Books and Cats, and I've done 4, so I'm halfway there. So there's the pattern by Puntini. Super cute. As most of you know, I have a tuxedo cat named Scout, and I love to read. So this is the absolute perfect pattern for me. And here is where I'm at. So it's really coming along. In those 4 hours, since I saw you last, I finished all the words. So I think I had to finish home. I added was already there, but then I added books and cats. And so I finished all the words, and now all the books are done. And so now I just need to do the girl over on the side, and I started on her, and she looks a little bit like me. So that's perfect. And I'm really loving this one, and it's so close to being done. I just have to finish her. There is a border, and I think I'm just not gonna stitch the border. I don't think it always needs a border. I think people have different opinions on whether they like borders or not. And I think it's okay without the border. That would help me, one, just get it done faster, but I'm gonna frame it. And so I just don't think that the border is necessary. I can get a really nice frame instead. So that's the plan there. And this is being stitched on 32 count Belfast raw linen, 2/2, and I'm doing the called for DMC colors. So I like that one. And add a little bit of white to these 2 kitties. To look a little bit more like my Scout. And then the girl is holding a kitty. I'm not sure if I'm gonna add white to him. I might have to figure out how to do that. Scout has some white on her face, and then her belly is white, but I don't wanna make him look weird. So I might just leave him as a black cat, or maybe add like a little white to his belly below her arm. But then I don't know if the white next to the very light skin tone for her might look a little weird. So we'll see. I'll play around with that and see what I want to do. But I just need to finish her, and I'll be done with this one. So maybe by the end of the month, possibly, I might be able to finish that. I don't know if I can do all of that in the 4 hours I have left for WIPGO. I'm not the fastest stitcher, but I can get a pretty good chunk done, I think. So that one's Books and Cats. And then the next one is Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs. This one is Stitch Along with Sarah's Stitchy Spot and the museum stitcher, Bridgen. I think I initially saw Bridgen wanting to stitch this one, and I was like, ooh, I want to stitch that. And she's like, I'm doing a start along, you should join in. So this was Bridgen influencing me to do this one, but I think it's just beautiful, and it's my first Blackbird, so I'm really enjoying this one. There are some specialty stitches, so Smyrna stitches, and all kinds of different kinds of stitching, so that'll give me some practice. I don't really think I've done much specialty stitching, so I am enjoying working on this one. This one is done on the beautiful Steinbeck fabric, 36 count by Needle and Flax. That was very generously gifted to me. And that is, ooh, it's all crooked. Sorry, I have trouble with these big Q snaps getting it in to go not crooked. So just ignore the fact that it's crooked. I can stitch on crooked, but I'll probably fix it. I just put it back in the Q snap this morning, and yeah. So ignore that it's crooked, but that's the progress so far. Not a ton. I'm being a little careful with this one. I think I did have to frog these 2 leaves. I had finished those, and then I put them one spot too far down, and they were gonna hit the other ones, and for that I didn't want to have to figure out how to fudge it for that. I just didn't think, ignore my thread, I didn't think that was gonna work to fudge it, so I did have to frog a little, so that put me behind a little, but still really enjoying this. Again, 36 count Steinbeck by Needle and Flax, using called for some called for fancy floss, and then some DMC just for a little bit of cost savings. So fancy floss in the areas where I thought that the variegation and the different colors would look best, and then DMC in some of the other areas where I didn't think it would make much of a difference. And in addition, Blackbird's has about 3 items in the pattern marked that they only use a teeny bit. They're only in very small areas, so you can easily use the DMC. So it's nice that they include those notes, so you don't have to get all of the fancy floss. And so that's my progress on that one. I definitely want to work on this a lot more. I wanted to do the second flower last night, and then I ended up stitching on other things and frogging and stuff. So I only have the 1 flower and a bit of the border. But I'm enjoying this, and you can always check out Bridget, the museum stitcher, and Sarah's Stitchy Spot to see the progress that they're making and the fabrics and colors that they've picked for theirs, because it's always fun. That's one of the fun things about a stitch along, is to see what fabric everyone uses, because if people decide to do stuff that's not the called for, which this is not the called for, it's fun to see the different colors and how it looks on different fabrics, or even using different floss. So that is Oh Joyous Day. And if you want to join in, the hashtag is Joyous Day Sow. And it's really very much a start along. It was just because we all wanted to work on it, and we thought, why don't we all start it together? But there's really no rules to that either, as to getting it done by a certain date or stitching certain sections by a certain time. We're just doing it when we feel like, which is fun. And then my next whip is Au Fil de Moi, which is from Jardin Privé, and it's all of the months of the year. And so I'm a little behind on this one, which is fine. Rules are only in your head for cross stitch, but I wanted to do each one in the month. And then, to be honest, I was struggling with February a little because of this design in this heart. There's extra counting, and it's a little bit like tricky to make sure you're, and I don't even think I probably didn't do it exactly right, but you probably can't tell. It just looks like a design in the heart. The other hard part was that this, of all of the, items to be split on the pattern into 2 different pages, this one is particularly tough to get the heart to line up with the pattern on 2 different pages. And so that caused me to struggle and not really want to work on this. And then I finished the heart last night because I was just on the phone with Alex, and I'm like, while I talk to him, I'm just going to get this done. And then I made a mistake, which I'll show in a second. So I was starting on March last night, and then I had to actually not be starting on March. So I did not finish February in the month, and probably a little bit behind where I would want to be on March, but that's okay. So there it is. It looks close enough, I think. Ooh, you can tell maybe there's something wrong over here. Might need to fix that, but whatever. This heart was just, it was not my friend. This is too far over. I added 1 extra heart by accident, and again, that was probably because of this pattern being split almost in half on 2 different pages for that section of it, which is just quite tricky. So just an FYI for this pattern for that. I don't think it'll be too much of an issue for a lot of the other ones, but this was just a particularly tough one for them to have split in half. So, but that's my progress so far. This is being stitched on a 28 count wheat Lugana, and I'm using her called for DMC 2/2. And it's gonna be really cute, and I'm gonna be really happy with it. I just need to get through February and to fix this border. I'm probably just gonna leave the heart. I don't know what I did over here. See, like, it looks like this is I probably just need like 1 stitch right there. Maybe I'll just add that in. I don't know, but whatever. From here, you can't even tell that there's something. It just looks like squiggles in the heart, so it's fine. And other than that, like, this is an easy stitch. Words obviously are very simple. The hearts were fun, and the borders are very simple and easy to stitch. So it's just that heart that I had to get past, but I will fix February sometime this weekend and then start on March, and March is pretty easy, so I should be able to get it done. We just got the bird and that flower, a bit more of block stitching, and March is all together on 1 page on the pattern, so no having to figure out that aspect of it. So that one I am enjoying now that I think I figured out the heart. And then the last one I worked on just a very little bit. After my last video, I only needed to put a couple hours into it, was Christmas delivery. This was a WIPGO call for February. It was just to, I think it was Christmas delivery. I have some WIPGO items that are just stitching on anything Christmas, and then Christmas delivery itself is also on the board. So that's Christmas Delivery by Cottage Garden Samplings. Absolutely love this one. So cute. I know Sarah from Sarah's Stitchy Spot is working on it too, and she started with the Santa. So it's fun to see her progress as she's moving in, and I actually decided to start in the middle. So I'm working on like this area here. And so this is my progress so far. And from when you saw me last, I think I did a little bit more of this pink package, and then I did the, not all of them, him obviously, but I did the horse, or the rocking horse. So he's coming along. It's looking good. This is on, let me check, using called for DMC on the 32 count vintage Stormy Night. So this is similar to that vintage smoky that I showed for Blessings Be More. It's a printed fabric, and then you've got the variegation on one side and just plain color on the other. But I think this is gonna turn out really cute. It'd be nice to get it finished for Christmas, but it's a big pattern. It's not hard, you know, there's quite a bit of blocky stitching. It's not too much, there's not really confetti too much or anything like that, but it is quite a lot of stitching, and I'm working on quite a lot of other things, and that's again why I did WIPGO, because in February, March, I'm not really like thinking Christmas and thinking wanting to stitch on Christmas, but since it came up in WIPGO, why not? I'll stitch on it. So we'll see if Christmas comes up again in the next few months and I get some more stitching on that. So that is all my stitching in the past 2 weeks. My finish, fully finish, start, and a bunch of whips. And so next I'm going to announce my Stitchy Treat recipients. So if you commented with a number, listen closely to see if you're one of them. And so the first thing for Stitchy Treat was this DMC kit. And this is going to Lori Tuck. So Lori Tuck, please email me. You have to be 18 or older, so hopefully you are. Email me at novelstitcher, all one word, @gmail.com with your address, and I will get this out to you. So congratulations to Lori. And then the next one is the magazine, The World of Cross Stitching magazine, and it has a little kit for a little bookmark in it. Super cute, lots of lovely patterns, and the winner is Arlene Curry. Arlene Curry. So Arlene, shoot me an email, novelstitcher@gmail.com, and I'll get this out to you with your address. And then the last one is the Teresa Kogut pattern up on the house top. Super cute, look at those little dancing snowmen. And that will go to Rebecca Feller. So Rebecca Feller, please shoot me an email with your address and I'll get that out to you. And if you could all respond in the next couple weeks, that would be great, to make sure I can get that to you. And if I don't hear from you, you know, I can put it back in the giveaway pile, but I hope you all get in touch with me because I'd love to get those out to you. And then next I have some happy mail. So thank you so much to anyone who emails or comments or does any of that. Like, I'm not ever expecting anything from any of you as far as like getting things in the mail, but it's just super sweet when you do. It's very kind, very unexpected, and so thank you to anyone, but I don't want anyone to feel like they should or need to send me anything. Certainly not. Your comments and your likes are more than enough and mean so much to me. But a very kind viewer of mine, Linda, sent me a few little things. Well, more than a few little things. She sent me the needle minder you saw on Berry Patch. She sent me some skeins of Classic Colorworks Black Coffee, which is just wonderful because I want to do the Enchanted Quaker by Luminous Fiber Arts. That was one of my, probably my #1 market release that just came out. I do have a pre-order out, so I have that pattern. Should be coming in the mail from Top Knot Stitcher, and a lot of it is black coffee. So now I have my black coffee to stitch that with. So thank you, Linda. And then she sent me this lovely project bag, so pretty, from Be Busy Bags. I love that. I love the blues. Blue is my favorite color. They're little feathers, which is super pretty. And it's a really nice size. Can fit, you know, I've been putting Oh Joyous Day in here, and I can fit the pattern. Ooh, sorry, little guck. I can fit the pattern and the floss and my Q-snap and everything in here. Busy Bee Designs, so they got a little bee charm on there, which is super cute. Nice final front, really well made, so I love that, thank you. And then it came with a little thread bed, so that's super cute too. Thread beds are so useful. Like there's my thread. And even has like a little thing for your needle, so definitely, appreciating that. And then she also sent me, which I think I'll do as a giveaway at some point soon, this lovely pattern from the Stitcher Hood, Quaker Heart. Look how pretty, just a very simple heart with these little beautiful star Quaker patterns in there. So I think I'll be doing that for a giveaway soon. So stay tuned if you like this pattern. Next couple weeks I'll do a giveaway. And she sent me some, she's in Canada, and she sent me some like coffee crisps. I haven't tried them yet, but I do like coffee. I'm wearing my coffee earrings today, actually. So I'm gonna try those out, and I'll let you know if those are good. It's fun to get food from other countries that you don't have, like in America. So that was like a nice little surprise too. So thank you so much. It's so kind, but all of you are so kind, and I appreciate all of you. And we'll do a little bit of haul. I have some recommendations of floss tubers to follow, plans, and then a little bit about books. So we'll keep this rolling. So I did end up going to the Strawberry Sampler a couple weekends ago. I mentioned in my last video that they're my local needlework store, and they were having a special 25% off sale if you wore Eagles gear or Phillies gear just to celebrate Philadelphia sports. And so Alex and I went. I think for him, it's always an adventure to go to an LNS. He's very intrigued by all the excitement that people have over cross stitch. And so I picked up just a few things. I didn't go crazy, but I got 2 patterns. So I got Halloween by Silver Creek Samplers. Happy Halloween. And I had actually seen this in the Strawberry Sampler over the summer. They have a model of it, and it's just so pretty. It's so cute. And they just didn't have the pattern in stock at that point. So I was like, I just put it on my wish list and kind of forgot about it. And when I went back, they had them in stock. So that's Happy Halloween. I love the cat in the middle and all the little ghost. Super cute. So I'm excited to work on that one when we get closer to Halloween. And then I love my coffee. Always need coffee. So I got Heartstring Sampleries. C is for coffee. This is a cute little small pattern. That's really sweet. I like that. I like the way she framed it. So I might see if I want to frame it that way. So that's really cute. And then I just got, I want to try my hand at 40 count. And so I got some 40 count vintage country mocha, nice modeled, really very large bit of linen. So this will be great to try some 40 count and see if I like stitching on something that's a little bit higher of a count. So I got that too. And I got needles, because you can never have too many needles. I always find them in the couch cushions when I'm vacuuming, and then there they go into the vacuum or on the floor or who knows where. So I got some needles as well. So that was my haul from the Strawberry Sampler. Nice to have an LNS close by. Not the biggest LNS, but they have an alright selection, and if I needed anything, I can probably reach out and order it from them. I will say I wish they had a slightly bigger fabric selection. They don't tend to have a lot of the, they have more like Zweigart. They don't have a lot of the dyers for the fabric, though I think it's supply chain issues too, and they just struggle to get some of that stuff in. But they're really sweet there, and it's a really nice shop, and it was nice to go on a Sunday for their special sale and see a lot of people inside purchasing a lot of patterns and chatting about cross stitch. You know, it's always good to see those local needle workshops doing well and seeing people appreciate them. And then the last little bit of haul is my Fat Quarter Shop Floss Fix. So every month I get 6 Classic Colorworks colors. If you're signed up for them and haven't gotten yours and don't want to know what colors, I guess look away, though I don't know if it's that much, if people need to be surprised that much, but I really like Classic Colorworks. So I got Bandana, very pretty red, really nice for Christmas. And then Bamboo, which is just a nice off-white. Balsam Fir, which is a lovely, again, more Christmassy green, like these 3 colors. For a Christmas pattern, beautiful, really pretty. And then Baking Tin would even work too, which is a nice gray. So I'll definitely have to think of if I have a Christmas pattern that could work for those. And then Baby Chick, it's a really soft yellow, which, yeah, kind of hard to see. And I put my board down, but it's a nice soft yellow. And Bambino, which is pink and purple and orange. Very cute. Don't know what I would use that for, but I will figure out something springy. So yeah, those are my Classic Colorworks. So it's really nice to get these in the mail and really build fancy floss. I think I'll do this for a few months because it's 6 every month, so now I already have 12. So I'll do it for a few more months and then I'll see if I can do maybe weeks. Because Weeks Dye Works is used in a lot of patterns and I don't have a ton of weeks, but it's a really good deal to get those 6. It just comes in the mail, you don't need to do anything, and grow your floss stash. So that is my haul. Let's see, Flosstubers. Okay, so I have a few recommendations for if you're interested in some new Flosstubers to check out. First one is Under the Evening Star. That's Melissa. She has very pretty stitching. She's very easy to listen to. She's really sweet. She has a whip parade that she did recently if you want to get a feel for all of the different patterns that she's stitching on. I know she joined in on the Best Bunnies style and she's working on Berry Patch too. It's coming along really nicely. So check out Melissa, Under the Evening Star. And she has fewer followers, so definitely go give her a watch because we always want to support people and watch what they're stitching and interact with them and make them feel really welcome in this community. And then another newer Flosstuber is A Little Patience XS. That is Ashley. She's very new. I think she only has 7 or 8 videos out. She's really sweet. She has 2 little ones, I think, at home. So she gets in her stitching and her floss tube when she can, but she does have really nice things to show. And she just started designing. So she has an Etsy shop. I think it's also A Little Patience XS on Etsy. And she has really cute, sweet little patterns. One of them says, "You Are My Sunshine," and it has a little swirly sun and some flowers. Really cute, really simple, and probably quick stitches. So I'm definitely gonna get the "You Are My Sunshine" one and work on that in the next month or so. So definitely give Ashley a follow, give her your support, especially as a new Flosstuber and a new designer. And then some Flosstubers who have been around for a while and maybe a lot of you know about. The first one is Country Stitchers. That is Liz and Deb, and I'm pretty sure Liz and Deb are out in the Lancaster area, which isn't too far from me. So they're local to where I am, and they have beautiful projects. They have a great friendship. I love listening to them chat. And one thing I really like is that they do Stitch with Me's. They're not live or anything, but they just sit in one of their houses and stitch and just chat. And you can kind of just sit there and stitch and listen to them chat about cross stitch, about life, about their kids, about the weather, about whatever is going on in their lives. And it's like sitting with 2 friends and chatting. They can't hear you, but sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I agree, like talking to the TV, but that's just a nice way to like have something on in the background while you're stitching that you can just kind of listen to, but really concentrate on your stitching if you're working on something that's a little more tricky and you can't really like watch a Flosstube because they're showing things and you're going to want to be looking at what they're showing on the screen or watching a TV show and trying to track the plot. This is just a way to have something to listen to stitch with some friends and have a nice time. So that is Country Stitchers, Liz and Deb. And then the last one is the Contented Needleworker, Kim. Kim does a lot of samplers and they are beautiful. Her stitching is lovely and I have not done a ton of samplers, but she is inspiring me and I'm loving watching her. I really just started watching her recently, but she's got all beautiful stitching on the wall behind her. So I'm really enjoying watching Kim. So check those out. I'll link them all down in the description so you can easily click over, subscribe, and give them a watch and give them your support and plans. So more stitching on a lot of the whips I just showed. And then for possible new starts, well, I do want to finish Books and Cats, so that's a big plan. But for possible new starts or actual new starts, one of my WIPGOs for March is number 2, and that is Halloween for 5 hours. And I actually don't have any Halloween whips, so I need to start something. So I'm going to start 3 Cats and Jacks by Stitches by Ethel. And I just wanted to do something pretty small, so I'm not giving myself another huge project to do, but it's so cute. I love this little cat. I love the spider web in his tail and those goofy pumpkins. And so I need to start this one soon, probably tonight or tomorrow, because I got to do 5 hours on this one this month to meet my WIPGO goal. So definitely be starting that shortly. And it's all DMC, not that many colors, so I'm assuming I should have it in stash. And then I have plenty of fabrics to choose from, figure out what I want to do for that. And then I also want to join in on the All the Bees Sal. So that Sal is being hosted by the Fanciful Flamingo, Alicia, and Kathy from Two Needles Pulling Thread. And they are doing Stitch Anything with a Bee. So it's kind of like my Best Bunny Sal, Stitch Anything with a Bunny, only this is all the bees. And summer's coming and I don't have any summer stitching. So I want to start Primrose Cottage's Be Happy. So obviously perfect for Stitch Something with a Bee. And it says, be happy, be humble, be kind. So that's super cute. And this should be really quick. Like words are pretty fast. This should not take me too long. And it's 5 DMC colors, so really simple. I like Primrose Cottage because they're just like quick, really happy little stitches that you can do pretty easily, pretty quickly. And I think this is one that I don't have any stitching in my cubicle at work. So I might stitch this one and I can finish this really cute and put it up in my cubicle. So that'll be fun. So if you want to join in, check out Alicia and Kathy's Flosstubes. Again, Kathy is Two Needles Pulling Thread and Alicia is the Fanciful Flamingo, and it's hashtag all the bees Sal. So stitch something with a bee and join in on their Sal. So that is everything for the stitching. I think I got through it all. Good amount of content, good amount of stitching. I think it's going to be a good March of stitching. Sorry, my nose itches. Ugh. So I'm excited to just keep on stitching. I hope that everything is good where you are. The weather here is gross today, so I am going to finish filming this, edit and upload it, and then stitch most of the day and read, which I'll get to the books in a minute. I haven't been reading much when I got home from work. I just wanted to stitch this week, so I've just been doing a lot of stitching and chatting with my mom and with Alex and friends on the phone and stuff, which you can stitch while you're just chatting with someone. So I've been doing a lot of that, which is nice. And it snowed a little this morning and now it's just gray and I think it's cold. It looks cold out. It did snow, so it's got to be cold and rainy. I think we're all ready for spring. I like the snow, especially in like January or February, but once March comes, it's like, okay, I'm ready for spring. But the clocks turn spring ahead this weekend, so that's exciting. It's nice when it's out later. Makes it feel like you're really pushing closer to those warmer months. So if you're only here for the stitching, that's all I've got, but please leave a comment. Let me know what you're stitching on, how your week is going, what you think of my stitching. Are you excited for any upcoming plans for stitching? Love reading your comments, so please do so. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. That would mean the world to me. So thank you for watching, and let's chit-chat about books. So not too much on the reading front to share, but I didn't do any reading in my last episode, so I wanted to make sure I chatted about it in this one. So I'm still reading The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. I think it's Dubois, but I don't know if it's Du Bois. I think it's Dubois. By Honorée Fannin Jeffers. And this is a chonker. Yeah. She is a big book. She is over 780 pages. So I am 223 in. But I will say, for a book, did it get done? It was on the National Book Award long list. Anyway, for a book that is 780 pages, it is so far to me not a slog. It's not one I'm going to sit and read for hours and hours, but each time I pick it up and read it for half an hour to an hour or so, I don't feel like I'm bored or I don't know where it's going or anything like that. So considering it's so long, it's captivating, the writing is beautiful, it's interesting. So it's about this young girl, Ailey, who is a Black girl living in the United States, and she spends her summers in Georgia, but I think they live near Detroit maybe. Anyway, it's about her life and her family and the history of the family. So at some points, it goes back in time all the way to when when settlers were coming over to America, their interactions with indigenous people, when enslaved people started coming to America and slavery was starting, and the interactions of Black people with indigenous people, and all of the kind of the history of her family and of early America, very early America, as well as more present day. I was thinking about it and I'm not sure what time present day is set in. It's not like 2023, but it's probably like the 80s or 90s. They don't mention cell phones and some more modern technology, but it's more present day of her as a teenager and her family and her summers down south and her sisters and all of that. So it's a sweeping kind of history of this fictional character and all of the experiences of being a Black person in America. And it's just really well written and it's really beautiful. And I like her character. I like, she's a teenager, but she is a teenager and all teenagers have their moments, but she's not like a super obnoxiously written teenager, which I like. And, you know, she's a bit whiny and a bit uncertain of who she is and where she fits in the world, but not overly so. And so I'm really enjoying it so far. A lot of what I've just been reading is more focused on Ailey and the present tense. So I'm interested to see when we get back to like the earlier days of her family history and learn about that, but it's really good so far. So I'm enjoying it. So if you're interested in something that's a little bit longer, but it's not hard to read, for me, it's not complicated. The timelines are well defined. I'm not confused about whether I'm in the past or the present, and there's not so many characters that I can't keep up. There are quite a few characters, but so far I'm keeping track of everyone. So that's good. And then I was in the mood for something fantasy, something quite different than sweeping fiction, sort of historical fiction. And if you like fantasy stuff, Leah Bardugo is the writer for, and I'm not reading this right now, but she writes Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows and more fantasy books like that. And so Shadow and Bone was turned into a TV show on Amazon Prime, and the next season is coming out next Friday, I think, March 16th. And so I rewatched the first season. I remembered what happened, but I wanted to rewatch it anyway. I've read the books, all of that, but it's really good. I really enjoy it if you like that kind of thing. And like, for transparency, even my dad watched Shadow and Bone, and he likes like Game of Thrones and stuff like that. Shadow and Bone is a bit more YA, I would say. Hopefully I'm not wrong in thinking that, but I think like Leigh Bardugo writes more for teenagers or early 20s. And even my dad liked Shadow and Bone and thought it was enjoyable, and I didn't tell him to watch it. He just was bored and looking for things on Amazon Prime last year or the year before and started watching it. So you don't necessarily have to be younger or be a teenager to enjoy it if you like fantasy kind of stuff. But that got me wanting to read something fantasy, so I picked up Tamara Pierce's Tempest and Slaughter. So Tamara is like one of my faves. I love her. She was very popular in the 90s. She has the, sorry for turning away, but I can show Song of the I have too many books, it's a mess. Song of the Lioness. And so Alana is the first one, and this is like, you know, my old, like, smells like an old book, 1990s paperback. How much? $5? It cost $5. Anyway, I loved this when I was in my early teen years. There's 4 in this series. They're really short. And for this one, Alana it's like a made-up medieval time period. And she has a twin brother, and they have to get sent off to school. And she's going to be sent off to like finishing school where she learns manners and sewing and all that girly stuff. And then he is going to be sent off to become like a soldier. And they look a lot alike. They're twins. They're like 11, 12. So they switch places because she doesn't want to do the soft, girly stuff. And he doesn't want to be a soldier and be fighting. And what he can do to still be a boy, because it's harder to fake that, is to be a mage and go learn magic. And so they escape, and he goes off to do that, and she pretends she's him and goes off to be a soldier. And so that's kind of the premise there. And obviously she makes friends and she has adventures, and eventually they find out she's a girl, but it all turns out okay. So that's a really good one. And so anyway, I loved her when I was younger, and this came out not too long ago, which is amazing that she's still writing. 2018, so 5 years ago, that's what I thought. And this was one of the ones where it came out and I was like, oh my gosh, she has a new book out. I'm gonna go buy it and read it right away. And I bought it and put it on my bookshelf, and I never read it for 5 years. Yeah. So finally, I am going to read it. I am not very far in, 60 pages or so. This one is basically this guy named Aaron. Aram is going to be one of the realm's most powerful mages. He's the youngest student in his class at a university, and he has a great gift. He makes 2 friends, Varys, a clever girl who is very talented, and Ozorn, the leftover prince with secret ambitions. They form a bond that will one day shape kingdoms. And, you know, there's a dark side in the kingdom that they find out about, and these 3 have to band together and fight against evil. So that makes it sound a little Harry Potter-esque, but I will say, before Harry Potter even came along, this trio of friendships with people, with the members of the friendship or the members of the trio having different powers or different things and banding together against evil, was not something that J.K. Rowling came up with. Not that I don't enjoy Harry Potter. Rowling herself is another story for another day. But, so like, I feel like it's rough, because then if you write about like 3 friends who have to fight evil and there's magic, people are automatically going to think, oh, like a Harry Potter ripoff, which not necessarily the case. In writing overall, there's always tropes that come up over and over again, and people make their own twist on it and do their own thing with. And I think that's very popular in fantasy. There's just certain storylines that there's always like the same structure, but the way that it's pulled together is different. So I kind of see it as, I think this was a quote in a book once where, you know, you're making brownies, but everyone might have a different recipe for a brownie. Yes, it's like the same thing in essence, but people might use different ingredients. They might bake it a different way. They might add different flavors. They might use organic or non-organic. So I feel like it's that way with books, where in the end it's the same product, but it's baked or pulled together differently with different elements. So anyway, I love her, and I'm excited to continue to dive into this and read this. It is interesting going to something like a fantasy by an author like her, from like the fiction, which is kind of more poetically and elegantly written and I don't want to say more sophisticatedly written, but it's like a higher level in what the writing is offering, to a Tamora Pierce, which is a bit more simple, but simple in a good way. Like, it's not overly engineered, it's not poetic or fancy, but like that's not what you need. I think that the fantasy is very much just about the plot and the action and the characters, and the writing can be a little bit more simple, but Tamora Pierce is still a very good writer. Doesn't mean that the writing is bad, but it's interesting to going between the two different writing styles, not one of which is better than the other, they're just different. So that's what I'm reading. I don't know what my plans are beyond that. Obviously, the Love Songs of W.E. Du Bois is going to take me a while to read, 200 pages in, which means I have 500 some pages to go. Probably won't finish it till next month. I do read fantasy fairly quickly, so I'm hoping to maybe finish Tempest and Slaughter by the end of the month, and then pick up something else. I also think I'm going to pick a book to read during my lunch break. My new team at work is very nice. Everyone's very friendly, but it seems like they don't normally eat lunch together, which is fine. You know, they chit-chat during the day, they talk, we have meetings and stuff, so it's not like they're antisocial, but I think lunch is just eat at your desk or go visit another, you know, eat lunch with someone else you know at the company, or, you know, do what you need to do during that half hour that you get lunch or however long you take. So I'm going to bring a book to work to read at lunch, but I don't want to bring like a huge, heavy hardcover to and from work every day in my bag. I don't really want to read something that's 800 pages and a little bit more substantive during lunch either. So I will pick a book this weekend, and that will mean 3 books at once, but much like stitching, I like having lots of things going at the same time, depending what mood you're in. So let me know what you're reading, if you're interested in what I'm reading, or give me some recommendations. What's maybe a good at work lunch book? Maybe not a romance, because I don't want to be reading steamy scenes while I'm eating lunch with my coworkers, but something kind of sweet and simple. Let me know what you would suggest. Let me know what you're reading or looking forward to reading. Are there any new releases coming out that, you know, I should put on my radar? I haven't been paying as much attention to what new books are coming out. I know Lisa C., who is one of my faves, has a new book coming out. I gotta check when, sometime this month or next month, so I'll be picking that up when that comes out. But otherwise, not really sure who else is writing what. So let me know what I should read. Let me know about your stitching. And if you stayed for this long, leave me a stack of books or a book in your comment. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support. I appreciate you all. You're all my Stitchy reading friends, and I am so happy every time I get to film. So I hope you have a wonderful week or day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you again in 2 weeks. So happy stitching and happy reading.